Start recording. Hey, we started Slay the Princess. This is like the second half of a full stream that you can see on Twitch if you want it unbroken, but in the meantime, we're now playing Slay the Princess. There you go, YouTube. My VODs people looked after. Oh no, I can select. What awful... Yeah, I changed the game category, not that it looks like it stayed changed. How dare you? I only watch good films. Yeah, but the title of the stream? Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Close. Get that green text out of the way. Thank you. Oh. The family pack? I heard it was good. I haven't seen it. It's a werewolf board game themed film. How good can it be? Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart to see them through. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. There are really fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. Nope! What is it then? Yeah, pretty good. I also promised that I would tag Erica Ouroboros when I started. I haven't done that yet, so my apologies. I will do that right now. I want to let her down. It would be so unfair. She means so much to me. Least I can do is try and remember her. But also you forget something once in a while and it doesn't make you a villain. Yeah, okay, fine. As in not good. Tag Comrade? Yeah, Comrade did want it. Tag them both. Oh, that's a lot of messages from everyone. I am going to follow up. You know what you did? And I approve, wholeheartedly. You're being very good girls, but still. No, don't delete that message. Discord, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, come on, come on. Alright, tag Comrade. Erica. Usually passing notes in class get read out loud. Cleric. Hell yes. Okay, cool. We'll check out that sometime soon. It sounds excellent. I've tagged some people. Let's go on with it, huh? You're off again. Wake up. Okay, the first thing we're doing... Full screen! Ah, better. Checking out that music, that's not too bad. Lovely. Auto forward time, a little bit up. Auto events, yes. Can safely shut. Well, you know, it's up to you. There's a fine. None. I don't have an issue with that, Loxy. Alright, let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh, I'm so tempted to turn it to French. You know I'm so tempted. Chapter 1. The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods.
See it as a challenge, Leona. That's what I'm saying. And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm not going to turn Jonathan Sims off so I can do my own narration, but I want you to know that I want to. Really fucking bad. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
No, Jonathan Sims is incredible. Maybe once in a while I'll repeat something you said. Oh, it's not just subtitles, you changed everything, which I'm fine with. Lingua de sous-titres. Yeah, that's
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Lay the princess, got it. The end of the world? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her. And if she's as bad as you say that she is, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Let's proceed into the cabin then.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is
Sorry, those are accidental. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. The
her
princess
voice
really...
carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hey, I think I'm here to kill you?
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Oh, I need to make it
She's so
exceptionally clear. This was a gift. Friend of the channel, Retsev, purchased this for me on a whim. And thank you very, very, very much, okay? I really appreciate it. It's a kind thing to do, just go browsing on someone's wish list and find something and then go, sure, why not? Yeah, so that's what's saying. Hey, thank you very much. Right?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
She looks mad. I'm just here to talk.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Yeah.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
Hey, princess, how's it
Well,
going?
we don't know what you're hoping to.
Alright, what we're doing now is turning off auto advanced text. Don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
I've had worse. There's people out there who think you're going to end the world? What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you, either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
Hey, Circle Song. So, I think this is really, really clever so far. I've got quite a lot of experience with Thomas's Lone and Stanley Parable, and always loved the narrator being frustrated by the free will of the characters. Great idea, great concept. It goes really well, especially with video games. It's one of those actually relatively new ideas of the absolutely perfect way to have a postmodern story that comes about from the medium of video games compared to others. So far, the voice acting for the princess is really good, man. Have you noticed a couple of times that it's pretty clear that she's not answering in a way that's supposed to put you completely at ease? Because that would make it feel more like a betrayal if she turned on you. Right now, she's hedging, playing both sides of the line so that you and we, all of us, are like, I don't know if I trust her, and we're debating with ourselves, and that's really good writing and very good voice direction. Tying it back to the TTRPG theory, that's kind of what you'd want one of these sort of games to be about. An excellent example of this sort of thing is Hell is Other People, a game that played at Fenno 2024. And you can check it out by going to fenno.org.au and see the blurb for the game. Because the character Amon, which was being played by the GM, was writing that line really, really well. So I might ask Elliot if he was inspired.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
Oh, that's good too. Move the mouse around you. Get a parallax move. That's probably what makes some people motion sick.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear.
It's specifically my job to poke people into pitching and think about their games and even particularly write bits of it before they pitch.
But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly
Writing
be
a single
worth
game
in a
in a
situation
year is
like
good
this?
and totally possible, and you can have a lot of good work, but writing it in 2 or 3 years generally ends to a better game, especially if it's playtested a bunch.
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
We're coming right off Vampire Therapist Circle Song, so this is a different feel, that's for sure.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
Here's a question for you. Do you think she can hear the narrator?
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Try to think about what a tabletop RPG game would look like with this sort of atmosphere. Would you have the princess be another player, the narrator a player? I gotta tell you, I'd have a GM-less game where one person is the narrator, one person's the princess, and one person gets to be like the decision maker, and another person is like voice of the hero, or something similar. And then potentially at some point you could have a timer that dings where you rotate positions and you play the different character. It's good practice. That feels more like an improv game rather than a full tabletop game. What's her name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Yeah, I bet.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
How long have you been down here?
Too long.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, We can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right?
The keys in your stomach, a la Saw 1.
She is. I'm sure of it.
A relationship. Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Yeah, the propensity for human brains to leap on the phrase relationship and go, ooh, a sexual relationship, limiting it to a single type of relationship is a bit... Well, it's funny. Let me put it that way. Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Says you, cleric. I'm gonna keep you locked away down here, at least for a bit. We can get to know each other better while I decide what to do.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
What do you mean? She's been down here for a long time.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
Uh-oh.
And if you don't,
Uh-oh. Creepy subtitles.
I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Okay, let's get you out of here then.
Oh, for the love of...
I'd rather figure out what's going on than just kill someone in cold blood.
Good. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
I'm not going to be fooled just by creepy subtitles.
You're making a huge mistake.
Okay.
No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
Can we trust the narrator?
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
I am assuming that, Moxie. I've got a knife.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Seeing the game offer that option soon after, like, it's reading the player's mind. Well, that's clever. Good God. Do you think that's done through history. Do you think that's done through quite significant playtesting? How did you feel in this moment? Write it down. You know, you have a playtesting system that springs up a QA box. I'm gonna check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there. And if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free. To only have two options here doesn't seem particularly limiting, but it's one of the problems that I foresee with running this as a tabletop game, because your players are going to have two options. They're going to have 20. It's kind of like playing everyone as John, as in a lot of people are going to yell multiple answers all the time. It's possible.
I'll be here.
It's difficult. It's possible. Yeah, that's part
You
of the problem.
attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
And that's why I'm like, do we trust the narrator that they're not influencing or editing or even writing the story themselves, or are they as limited as they seem to claim, i.e. telling us, damn it, you're doing the wrong thing. We as the players, the only one they can't actively control.
Is someone else here?
Probably, presumably they can't control the voice of the hero or the princess itself, herself, because you could just kill her then, right? Desperate GM. Oh, okay, the door locks above you, right? Hey, let me out of here.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Oh yeah, I want someone else to tell me that, you son of a bitch.
You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Try the
You
door.
try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Was it able to lock beforehand? Or did it suddenly gain that power?
I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
I think you're right there, Loxy. Turn to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to.
The original story in Stanley Parable is supposed to be about freedom. Stanley breaks free of his monotonous job, moves through things, and then eventually achieves freedom. You can only get that kind of freedom by doing everything that a narrator says exactly, right? So it's a meta conversation about the nature of freedom, especially as expressed through video games. Here, are we talking about freedom? Probably not entirely, right? It's certainly about choice. And here we've been said it would have been so much easier if you had just. Now that's an interesting point. In one sense, you can see that as the narrator saying he understands and knows how it would have turned out if we'd followed his commands exactly. And that's, again, what Stanley Parable does. Or is he chiding us for having for doing our own thing?
Easier for whom?
That there's another voice giving a counterpoint feels like an expansion to the whole idea. Or just gaslighting you, yeah, that's also true.
Easier for everyone.
You can just simply say, things would have been easier. You should have, like, the door didn't lock. What are you talking about? I don't need controls right now. I heard the door slam? They locked you down here too, didn't they?
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Okay.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Very low, Loxy. At this point, I don't believe we've had any reason to doubt that idea, but I just think that it's going to be set up that... Why did the stream stop? Yeah, we should be back now. Okay, look, frustrating, I'm sorry about that. What I was saying is, I don't think we've had any evidence to question that the hero, or the voice of the hero is our voice, but I think it's definitely not. And maybe we'll figure it out. You won't like what happens if you do that. Save the princess!
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
Oh, if we release the princess. I don't actually know what time you dropped. Anyway, let's move away from this so you don't have to keep looking at it. Whoa! Anyway.
You cut into her flesh.
See? Told you, cleric, stream, Durok, like...
The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet.
Gross!
She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
Your Majesty?
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Hell yeah, let's go! Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
we cut her arm off. She was nonplussed entirely. Said, thank you. Okay, let's get out of here. And now, the narrator said, I can't let this happen.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Hey, look. Look at that talon on our hand. Look at our arm. Also, isn't this particularly odd that the narrator can, force us to do things? Wait, we got an option. Warner.
Stop that.
What do you mean, stop
I
that?
thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
Sorry, Leona, that sucks. There is always the VOD. We are still here. Otherwise, I'd say hold control and press F5. That forcibly refreshes everything.
Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist!
The blade. Move the blade.
We've made a decision. We're gonna stick to it, damn it, at least to see how it turns out.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
Oh. Yeah, Lexi, you're correct. Hold on. That's pretty fair, I'd say.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
Princess slayed us? Who could have seen this coming?
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck.
Ah, who could have seen this coming? Such a betrayal.
This is the end, isn't it?
No, hero. Just hold on.
I'm afraid it is.
Oh.
Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
That feels like feels like an almost expected first playthrough. I can't imagine the person who is excited and interested in this sort of game and immediately goes straight to, fuck it, I'll just kill her. Chapter 2, The Prisoner. That it went from chapter 1 to chapter 2
You're
makes
on
it
a
pretty
path
clear.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
It's entirely possible it is a game that is supposed to be without heaps of multiple branching paths. It's entirely possible you're going to play through the narrative in the way that it's mostly pre-written, and it's not a problem. It's not entirely what you expect out of a video game when narrative choice is touted so heavily compared to other mediums. But there ain't nothing wrong with it, that's for fucking sure. Maybe every first death ends that way. Everyone's playthrough has you being killed by the princess the first time through, whether you try to resist or not. And then you get this chapter 2, and we're going to see how different it is.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
You can see it as the correct path, the correct choices move the plot forward, or you could see it on the other hand as a one set of choices progresses the narrative, but the game itself is only just going to be understanding how it reacts to the things you say. So even if what we did immediately was walk in, stab her several times, then leave, and it doesn't progress to this chapter 2 state, it's just a death counter? Possibly. That's still experiencing the game, and at least is narratively successful, at least as a satisfying method. It's getting more of the game revealed to you, and given that's all it is, there's no technical challenge in pressing the right button at the right time due to timing, that's just as successful. And taking that outlook is a good way to think about your tabletop games, when you can say, not see it as a necessary thing to kill the monster in your encounter. a la D&D. But I died. What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago.
Circle Song, I am both horny and an overthinker.
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around.
Voice of
I
the
wouldn't
skeptic.
trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
Remember how I said you can introduce new characters to have this right amount of people around the table? Again, this is just a complicated twist for everyone is John, but it's worth exploring.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything? I imagine narrated responsibly. You didn't do what I said last time. That's why.
Those are two very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving.
Leona, see, that was my guess as well. And I think that's also a very legitimate and good way to think about it. It's still a good video game, even if it's linear, one to the other. Vampire Therapist Wars, and how good a time did we have playing that together, right? Check out VODs.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
I hope this is the case and the narrator is trapped out of information that we know beforehand, and that's excellent.
The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put
That's
it, I
fucking
guess.
great. What a good decision.
You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting.
He won't even remember it if he does it again.
But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
Uh-huh.
Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Professional voice.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Oh, Luxie, that's a good one. That's a very good thought. It looks like the game has it too.
If it's the latter, what do you think happened
Hey,
after
you had it
you
beforehand.
died?
And you had to type it out.
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here.
Make the baby
Yet,
typing messages for you.
Here we are.
It's too early for him to learn the typing pool, right?
You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Facts can be circular. Let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
Alright. The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was that I let her, and all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end up? No, let's do this. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place? Stop trying to save.
Great. Now, if
Fuck.
you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
So good at video games. Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further.
What do you mean?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Well, yeah.
Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud?
Well, he doesn't have a body.
No, I didn't. Wink.
You could also go with that, sure.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Hello, Weebo. I'm gonna get spooked. I'm very easily spooked. Proceed into the cabin. Go on.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Yeah. So the table and the blade aren't wibbly wobbling the way the rest of the background is.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Not sure where I'm going with that. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
He definitely did not. Does a mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There's definitely a mirror.
There's definitely a fucking mirror.
There isn't.
There
I
is.
think you know what we have to do.
Yeah, we have to walk right past the mirror. Why would you lie about that? What's the point?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening?
So I have this joke, and it's only a joke because it really toes the line of like actively calling out abusive and abusers' behavior, right? And it came mostly to mind while watching Interview with the Vampire Season 1, like episode 2 or something. As soon as... Let's make the joke that it's like, whenever you reach a question you don't have a legitimate answer for that's going to absolve you of guilt, just go on the offensive. Just attack. Deflect and attack, baby. Go for it. And that's how you treat conversations. Like, you need to win them. And you may notice that's exactly what he just did here. Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good does a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done? Deflect and attack, baby. It's slimy, it's shitty, and only... It's a bad thing to do. And the narrator is doing it. Yeah, I'm gonna approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Alright, let's, this whole cabin is different than the last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely.
Maybe it's gonna be a different princess down there.
Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
What if we don't take the
I'm
blade?
afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
Oh, just try and stop me.
Are you sure? She killed us with it last time. What if she turns it against us again? Yes, I'm sure, and I've already got a plan for that.
Oh, do you?
Still with those past life delusions, are we? I hope part of that plan is don't give the world-ending monstrosity your only weapon, because unless you've decided to arm the princess, I don't think you need to worry about her having a weapon. Peachy, we'll be fine.
I don't want it.
Okay, I'm trusting you.
Hey, don't I get a say here? What's the big idea?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go. Wonderful. You do exactly
Motherfucker.
that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement.
That's so good.
Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless.
It's all the same voice.
Moving on.
Maybe you can read into that, but I wouldn't too much because I'm always hesitant to say that a limitation that could be based on finances can affect the plot so badly, so deeply, not badly. This is an excellent narrative technique where you are drawing attention to the fact that you've taken choice away from a player, and I think that's one of the only the only satisfying ways to do a control effect on another player as a GM. You have to make it exceptionally clear to them that they probably don't want to do this, and something else is dominating them and taking over their mind, and it feels awful. Check with your players for content warnings and triggers, lines and fails, something similar, because that could poke someone's fears pretty deeply. I don't see a damn lock either.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Need to go back to my earlier thought. It's not just making it clear that they're having choice taken away from them. You want to make it clear that you are aware that it sucks, right? And it's being done for a very specific purpose. And that's really only mollifying the idea that in most tabletop settings you're giving someone a character and that's the only thing they control, compared to all of the other background information, plot, setting, NPCs, monsters, all that sort of thing. And then you also take their shit? Like, that can rankle.
Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us?
Does she? That's a hell of a question.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
Alright, a little bit of overkill there.
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it?
It was.
It was.
It was!
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Well, let's sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Well, she seems real different then.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
We can put it down. Sit where you were told to sit.
You do as she asks.
Good
and sit on
boy.
the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Yeah, like we could throw the knife, maybe that'd work.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
I need answers. That's what we need the most. Hey, we're here. We've got at least one narrative to just dive through with as much detail as we can, so like... I've been here before? Am I the only one who remembers that?
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
No, I'm known for my lack of subtlety. I want to bring you in and share as much information so we can make sure we're all making the correct decisions for ourselves and the people we care about, damn it.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true.
What?
As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
Alright, so the princess is enough to convince the narrator that it's definitely happened.
It's complicated things. How exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion.
Do you think it's likely we're going to get to a conclusion where we understand that a wizard set this up as a way to kill one of their enemies by overcomplicating a world generation? Because I just don't think we're going to get that concrete an answer. And I kind of lean away from you providing one, if even if you did have it too, right? Here I'm hoping that we get some extra information, but we see that the conflict remains between the narrator and the princess. That feels like it's the big point here. Are we just the tool? We are the knife that wields the knife?
The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
So you did know?
A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else. I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Fuck, what?
Now hold on. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles. I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough, I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle.
Deny, attack. Told you, playbook.
And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
Ding. Also, you're a hero. Take the blade, go downstairs, kill the princess, or the world will end. That's a story written by ChatGPT. You know, the narrator is just doing paint by the numbers, isn't it? And that is kind of why I'm leaning towards the wizard has created at least part of a whole new world or narrative to try and get you to do something that they want, because like this is thin, isn't it? At least pasted on the ground. As a game, no. Dense and thick and beautiful.
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much.
You know what I think is the wizard? This is a hypothetical that I don't
Your
think
success hinges on...
that I don't think is actually happening, you know? That is a possibility. Who do I think is the wizard? Narrator, probably, you know? Did you have to ensorcel yourself to get you to do something you didn't want to do? That feels like half of an answer. The reason it's so poorly formatted is that you didn't want to do the whole thing. And like, maybe I'm also the princess. Who doesn't want to be a pretty princess anyway?
I won't. Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Am I daydreaming? What? What happened after I died last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them.
Huh.
And now you're back.
Yeah.
Is that really all she knows?
I'm gonna guess no.
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
Hold on. fucked. Never mind.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
Cursor is a blade as well. That chain, that other chain on the wall, who is it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
See, that's fascinating, Circle Song. Earlier I was saying that potentially I'd expect that we don't learn everything. Everything. That we potentially might is pretty great. Notice how the viewer count is back now that it's below 10. Need to mess with my damn stream overlays again. Let's inspect the shackle.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah, well, you're not, unless potentially you are.
And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will.
You're the narrator. You say whether it does or doesn't.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
Agreed. Now get in the shackle. Be a good boy for the princess.
But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Let's inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity.
Yeah, remember, I don't feel like she understands what's going on either. Remember, we asked how long she's been down there, and she says a long time. That could be all the information you give someone. All they're going to do is play one small role.
I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
Do it.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad.
Oh, yeah?
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
She's so disappointed in us.
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Here I thought we'd have a fear and hunger. Suicide is always the option.
Excuse me?
Carrying on is brave.
Yes? Are we stuck here now?
Prison of the mind. Become your own
Yes.
jailer.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
That's so good. That's so
What are we
fucking
supposed to
good.
do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
Princess is gonna eat you.
That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch?
Yes.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Did you know that this was gonna happen to me?
No.
Huh. So we're both stuck here.
Yep.
No one for small talk. Are you?
Nope.
Oh.
That's rude.
What should we do? Alright, let's just wait in silence then.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. and the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
Oh boy.
At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
Yeah, but she can't end the world in here.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there.
Fucking goddamn it. Also, I recognize that it is past our usual finish time. We go just a little bit longer, right? Just to see if we get to, like, another chapter.
Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it. How exactly does that work? It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work. I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
Hey, have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
Alright. Continue to wait in silence.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
Well, I guess we're not going to starve.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by
feel
now if
so
the rocks around
predictable.
us are starting to erode.
Like, what did Soccer Song say? That the game seems to preempt what players are saying or thinking? Well, there you go.
She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't. Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like
I'm
a
calling
liquid,
it, babes.
covering the
10 o'clock.
ground and threatening to swallow you both.
We are saving here. You're not wrong. Okay, I know I started an hour late, but that doesn't mean I can go for an extra hour. That means I need additional sleep because I have had a week off work, down with the sickness, as some would say. And that means I need to get ready for work in the morning. I need to probably pick up my fucking new car. That's going to be really good. And I need to see you again on Wednesday night. It has been a good night, Cleric. Boy, it has been a balm to see all of you again. A sincere delight. I have enjoyed every minute of it. So I sincerely hope I'll see you all again, including our newbies. Thank you very much for joining us, our first-time chatters. I believe they were Circle Song and Weebo777. You were good friends. Car finally happened? Yes. Full story is on its way, that's for sure. I'm talking to the dealer now. She messaged me while I was playing, but you have my attention. I'll drop my Apple and then find a time to pick it up. In any case, remember to like, follow, subscribe. You'll see me again on Wednesday night. I don't believe it's a Kingdom Hearts night. It may be a Chaos Wheel. It may just be figuring out what Jimbles wants to do and going from there. And otherwise, you can see us on our VODs by going to Professor Jimbles Dice. No, that's the podcast. You just go there. There you go. You can watch them on Twitch, or you follow me on social. Or you can go !class for Discord. You get a message to join our Discord server. Otherwise, remember to tell people you love that you love them very much. Good night, everybody.